begins now.
All eyes really this afternoon on this boat here.
Straight up to it. Yep. Nice, guys.
They've watched all the other teams race and it is all come to today.
I think the boats are pretty even, and I think we've established them really well. We'll win these races.
This is the race committee. This America's Cup is live.
Race one of the match. The charge towards history is a go.
Better pressure than them.
Their racecraft, their execution on board Emirates Team New Zealand is spot on.
The defender Emirates Team New Zealand win race one of the match.
You got to just keep getting off the start line well, keep not making mistakes around the racetrack, and take the opportunities as they come.
I think we said from the outset that they were the favourites going into this, and that's for good reason, and they've shown that today.
We're going to see some absolute fireworks in this next race, I'm absolutely sure.
Ineos Britannia closing quickly on the defender.
Really even.
Emirates Team New Zealand lead the cup now 2 races to 0.
Oh, nice way to start.
What an amazing day to get a couple of wins on the board early.
I think it's close, and I think we can beat them, so I take some heart from that.
Tough one, guys. Just going to keep plugging away at this.
Our team are fighters, so I think there's a long way to go with this yet.
What a day for the defender Emirates Team New Zealand.
We really tried to come out with an aggressive mindset this morning, and that's what we're doing right to the end.
Molt bona tarda and welcome to Barcelona for day 2 of the match, where 2 heavyweights are duking it out for sailing's holy grail. After a 5-week absence, the Kiwis took flight, blew off the cobwebs and raced to a 2-0 lead. If day 1 was anything to go by, this series is shaping up to be a dogfight. And as we know, the British Bulldog is a symbol of grit and determination. Ineos are here for a scrap, and they won't be pulling punches. New Zealand's grip on the America's Cup has grown a little bit tighter. Prying the old moat from their hands won't be easy, but Britannia is match-hardened, match-fit. Today's a new day, and they're ready to battle. Heading into race 3, the Kiwis have the psychological advantage after going 2 up in this first to 7 contest. Some of the unknowns have been answered, but this regatta is far from over, and today's races could reset the scoreboard. Mistakes on the opening day were almost non-existent. The lesson, win the start, put the elbows out, and wins are a whole lot easier. Today, Britannia starts on port, Team New Zealand on starboard. Dockout's always an emotional time for the fans. Jim Ratcliffe, the boss of Ineos, is in the house, but surely Ben and his crew need to do something today.
Yeah, a wobbly start for them yesterday, but we've been impressed, haven't we, about how quickly this team can adapt and improve. And with nearly 24 hours to do that, I'm sure they'll come out today stronger and fighting hard.
Yeah, and they do not lack for support. There are supporters from both camps just flooding into the city. And the flags continue to fly for supporters of Emirates Team New Zealand who have momentum, and Glenn, they'll want that to continue.
They certainly will do, and absolutely there is definitely an event going on here in Barcelona at the moment. It is absolutely epic, and they'll be looking forward to another solid day on the water today.
Ngāti Whātua and their Takawa, their beautiful walker, taking them out again. So what's it like out on the racecourse? It's time now to check on the latest conditions.
With 2 points on offer this afternoon, it is a pivotal day in this battle of the Cup giants, and with so much at stake, Barcelona is set to add to the tension, delivering a tricky, lightish easterly breeze. Currently on the menu, we have a very foilable 8 to 12 knots, but there is a real threat of a downward trend in pressure. The breeze here is often unstable, but for us watching, it's not that unpredictable, because for this America's Cup, with the brilliance of Windsight IQ showing us an accurate picture of real-time wind across the racecourse, green is above average and blue under. We then push that data through AC75 performance numbers, and we can have a pretty informed go at predicting the likely winning track. And right now, well, the Ghost Boat is bouncing off the boundaries, minimising manoeuvres.
Let's go racing, race 3 of the match.
2 races down today is pivotal for the British team. They must come out firing and close down any Kiwi momentum. Their ability to improve has impressed throughout. There's little doubt they will enter today looking stronger. Leading his team from the front, the greatest Olympic sailor of all time, Ben Ainsley, his offside partner, his skiff Olympic gold medalist Dylan Fletcher, and the ever rock-solid performance team of Macmillan and Maughan. And answering all their demands for oil, the rock-solid power unit. For this battle, it's Rossiter, Carr, Cornish, all led by Olympic rowing gold medalist Matt Godfrey.
The defenders blasted their way out of the blocks on race day 1 and silenced critics if they would be race ready. After 2 race wins yesterday, the team's polished performance did not go unnoticed by the world and especially their opponents, Ineos Britannia. Helming the AC75 is Peter Burling and Nathan Outridge, and keeping the Kiwi yacht clearing the waves is Blair Tuke and Andy Maloney. On the cranks, powering the sail trim is Cam Webster, Dougal Allen, Louis Crosby and Hamish Bond.
It is the Sunday showdown. Emirates Team New Zealand, the defender, up by 2. Ineos Britannia now in a fight, but they will fight to the last second. Huge crowds in for this one. Who's your team? Is it Ineos Britannia or is it Emirates Team New Zealand? There's a fair split across the city at all the race villages and fan zones, and we are good to go racing. We'll get a confirmation of that in just a moment from race management. What a day in Barcelona.
This is the race committee. The wind sampling is complete and this race is live.
So we are good to go for the first race of the day. Day 2 of the match for the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup. 2-0, the defender leads. And the start box today could be a completely different story to race 1 yesterday.
Let's have a quick look at conditions and the 3D ghost boat. It is going not all the way to the left-hand boundary, but really protecting that right-hand side. More pressure over there. Let's see if they fight to own that side.
Ineos Britannia will be coming in on port entry. They're allowed in at 2 minutes and 10 seconds. They look good for that. At 2 minutes, it will be Emirates Team New Zealand coming in from starboard. Green light for Ineos Britannia.
And across, nice.
Yeah. Pretty happy with Tiger still.
Green light for the defender. Let the battle begin.
Backing down. Yep. Backing down. Actually, it's sweet still. Yep. Coming up now. 3, 2, 1. Foot down. 2. 1. Happy to peel. Foot down. 2. 1. Mate. Turning. Steady jibe. Okay,
British team going into a familiar manoeuvre, Shirley.
All the way up. Low.
Yeah, they like to tack early,
Let's go.
follow behind.
We're ahead of them here.
Prefer to be on the prowl.
90, maybe a little lower. They're going to try and get across
7 and 10.5 knots of wind speed at the moment. British here, potentially got a bit on.
Handing all the time here. Hey, keep on the foils. Keep on the foils. Jesus Christ.
Well, that was close. Those intersections, almost a clash of foils there.
Nice. All good here. Go 2. 1. Forward. Still on the foils.
This is the umpire's penalty GBR.
It's a huge moment in this race.
Big arrow for the British.
Still going ahead,
So that is a 75-metre penalty there. Having a look at this replay, the British just not doing enough to keep clear. Shirley really late getting that board down. Oh, those foils so close to touching. Absolutely. Have a look out the window here. Oh, that was very, very, very close. So the British team having to pay a 75-metre penalty off this start line, so they will split tack start. Emirates Team New Zealand again potentially being able to line them up as Ineos the giveaway boat.
Don't be over. Yeah, good shout.
Let's get going. It's race 3 of the match. It's showtime in Barcelona.
It's a big build here. Don't want to lose it.
The British team will immediately tack away. They still have to pay that 75-metre penalty relative to Emirates Team New Zealand.
Still in left phase on us. Okay, if they're in left phase, we have to carry on, right? Yes.
Kiwis crossed that line doing 33 knots, so really built this speed in anticipation for that manoeuvre.
Let's keep fast now. It's still left phase here, guys. 25. Hacking back again.
The British don't
Keep
play
fast
this
while they've got it,
penalty.
mate.
Within a minute, they will get a second penalty.
Tracking right in the wind now.
Oh,
Sure, they've still got it.
PNG. Okay.
See them
Must be
heading
off now.
down now, the British just trying to shake off those
and board.
meters.
Penalty clear.
Emirates Team New Zealand right beside us here. They've just tacked, heading across now on starboard. Ineos actually handled that pretty well. It took a while to get rid of the penalty, but they're coming back from that left-hand side, and they look quite bower up. So that was a good recovery from that penalty pre-start, but how expensive is it to get a penalty so early on?
Hey, tack out. Yep.
Kiwis far enough ahead that they can really aggressively defend,
That's gone.
forcing Ineos back to the left-hand side.
Coming here on exit. Where do you think the best pressure is? Settle it in so fast, guys. Just trying to get you. Hey, Chris, can we on here?
On board with Ben Ainsley
Shift
driving.
is even at the moment. Got a bit of pressure coming down to us there. Just about to be tacking off boundary. How's it look at wind, lads? Decent pressure. I think we've got to go quite soon. Okay. Okay, stand by. Up. And board.
They're hearing there from
2, 1,
Port Helm, Dylan Fletcher,
Oh well.
Trimmer, Bled and Mon, just painting the picture.
They might have made a small gain. Let's just see.
Having a look for opportunities up the course.
Yeah, we're quite wide as well.
It's quite far left. I'd want to hit if we can now.
Yep, similar situation before, if not better for us. I'll count
Coming up now.
It's good top right.
Okay, send out 5. They're still charging here. Wait. 3, 2, 1.
Tracks here, it's quite tight. Don't think you have a piece. And back. I don't. Put down. Great. Gone. 2, 1, mate. Hang. Wait. Almost gets a lay on this one.
Ineos Britannia not hanging around. The lovely position, wasn't it, from Emirates Team New Zealand? And we heard Nathan Outridge absolutely timing that to perfection.
Wind's starting to come back right here a little.
Still got 20 this way. It's definitely trending right. Just find a lane out of here. Yeah, it's going right. It's hard to build.
Yeah.
Coming out.
It's going to be nice pressure out of this one.
And 5, 3, 2, 1.
Nice, mate. Nice entry.
Forecast for the day is for the breeze to go right. Nathan Outridge was talking about that that tack, that he felt they were heading into a right-hand phase with pressure. Very, not quite on ley line from my eye here to the top mark gate for the first time.
They've gone now.
It's back to 60.
You'll see
Looked like they made early gains, but now they're struggling out of that tack.
We're in a nice
a little
spot here.
Step
bow
up
down
one more time,
in
or
a
just stay in
slight
this
right-hand
one?
shift, so that will help Emirates Team New Zealand.
Pretty
British,
happy
though,
on
will be
this
accelerating
angle.
out of that tack and
Nice
slowly
phase.
winding up on the course.
So happy to, and then you want to take the right mark at the top.
So green
Yeah, I think that's
is
good,
good. Red not so good. So the green, the giveaway boat. Sorry,
Top
the
mark is slightly biased to the right. Probably head us
red,
here, but
the giveaway boat. Green
Okay,
on
it's
starboard
looking
tack, having right away.
I think I need 4 here, Blad, just bottom end of the 2, yeah?
This is the race committee. We are moving the leeward gate, shortening to 1.6 nautical miles.
Both boats just one more manoeuvre into this top gate.
It's about 5. Have a good look at it.
Trending left.
Bottom here. 3, 2, 1. What down?
Between 8.5 and basically 9.5 knots at that top gate at the moment of wind speed.
I think quite overload, sorry. They fixed the mark, they serve attack.
It's generally getting
Happy to go straight.
softer.
You want to take the left mark off them?
Yep. We're in left phase now, but I think straight through is all good. Get back in that when we had. Feels like
Through the top gate for the first time on the back end of an aggressive move in the start box. The defender, Emirates Team New Zealand, lead after one leg of 6 in race 3 of the match.
36. About right on those numbers. Grab.
Ineos Britannia, though, not too far away. That's a long way to go with the wind conditions that we have, and if they're starting to drop, this truly is going to be a chess match.
All right, work it down. 1, 2, 100, hit it, boys.
Kiwis meet gains, didn't they, the second half of that upwind leg.
Big crowds, they are growing up. Glenn, they are just growing through Barcelona.
Certainly are. There's definitely an event going on off the coast of Barcelona at the moment.
Have a quick look at the ghost boat here in the next cross. Definitely see New Zealand extending, capitalising on more pressure on the left-hand side of the course, looking downwind.
They're getting a lot softer.
It's a righty, so
it's that one less manoeuvre for the Kiwis. Just a couple of boat lengths gain coming into that top mark. Still a few big holes on the course at the moment, and I think Ineos Britannia
here now with the pressure, I think.
possibly in a little more breeze at the moment.
What are you feeling? That's good there on the...
how's the pressure, Nato?
Looking at Emirates Team New Zealand going downwind. The little bit of camber on the bottom, but what I'm seeing out here is both boats are on J2, same jib for the downhaul. I just wonder if Emirates Team New Zealand, after what they learned yesterday, have decided to match in terms of headsel choice.
This is the race committee. We are moving the windward gate, shortening to 1.5 nautical miles.
Wouldn't be afraid.
Well, that's never a good sign, isn't it? Wind dropping, course shortening.
Or any light stuff. It's looking pretty good down the middle now.
Nice pressure this way, yeah? I think it gets better this way. And 3.
Yeah, nice.
The lighter the breeze, the tougher the ride for the cyclers. A lot more to do adjusting the sails. Louis Sinclair.
Cam Webster and Louis Crosby. Big push now, more depth in that mainsail, and jib exiting those manoeuvres, so a lot of hydraulic oil getting pumped around to adjust the trim of those sails on board the AC-75.
What are we? I think we're 1 for a right here at the moment. Yeah, I agree. When the numbers are in the 50s, it almost feels better bottom left, eh? Yeah. Yeah. Hey, boys.
Board Ineos Britannia.
24-23 here, lads.
Ben Ainsley steering at the moment.
Pretty similar here.
Dylan Fletcher, tactics and course management.
Guessing our options now is whether or not we come back early. I mean, were worried about that bottom left. What about right here at the moment? It's a big righty. It's a big righty. They can't jibe here with their gas. They're on the reload here. So
Emirates Team New Zealand coming across, all the way across now. They'll jibe shortly as they line up for that bottom mark gate. But I think smart choice by Emirates Team New Zealand going with a slightly bigger jib. If they showed any sort of vulnerability yesterday, it was on the downwind legs. Today, it looks like they've matched, and I think they've actually made a bit of a gain, but some of that is because they've sailed in pressure all the way down leg 2.
And it's a little lighter now, but would have taken a bit of depth out of the jib on that one. 2, 1, go board.
Well, quite a big touchdown on board Ineos Britannia there. That wasn't their best jibe exiting.
A third of race number 3 done in this match for the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup, of the Defender leading at the bottom gate, heading now upwind for leg number 3. It's the biggest lead of the race so far.
What do you want?
So in pressure that's dropping across the court, what can Ineos Britannia offer up? There's still a lot of racing still to be done here on the waters of Barcelona. They complete leg number 2. Nice place to watch some racing.
Let's have a quick look at the optimum course, the options. Still bumping off the boundaries, staying in the pressure.
probably go reasonably soon just to give us a standby. Put down. 3, 2, 1, 8. Panic. 5, 2, 1, go on board.
A higher average speed for the British boat. Slightly lower VMG, not much in it.
Just sailing a slightly further distance than British, but sailing fast through the water. Beautiful tack on board
Spot on the
both
wave here.
boats.
Just getting better in a sec.
Yeah, just going to go slower.
Yep.
That's,
You're going to get pressure on your hip now. They're still holding through, they're breathing through to leeward. Obviously.
if we want to try and just keep it close to wait for an opportunity.
British team actually well and truly air forward there, so
slightly on the
not
right,
getting affected.
Yeah, big lefty there. Like that. Yeah, stand by.
This is the race committee. We are moving the leeward gate, shortening to 1.4 and shifting the axis to 066.
I will. 2, 1,
Tough call for Ineos Britannia there. All the pressure was the way they were going, but just sitting in the dirt of the Kiwis.
Pressure right to me. Yeah.
Emirates Team New Zealand just minimising the separation to
holding forward.
keep control.
Just to get a nice bit of wind in front to me.
I agreed with that.
29s.
As the wind lightens, it's forecast to go to the right, and that's what's happening. That's why the boats are favouring this right-hand side of the course coming up leg 2.
On top of it.
Ineos' speed's just fine. They're matching Emirates Team New Zealand upwind.
Got the pressure first.
New Zealand is now in phase with the GBR boat, and that makes it hard for the trailing boat to get leverage, to put themselves into position, to put pressure on the Kiwis.
Okay, let's go. 1, mate. No entry.
3, 2,
1, go on board.
fast build.
Happy to hang on to this windward. Yep.
Not much chat from Ben Ainsley. Dylan Fletcher doing most of the talking.
It's just coming.
He'll be frustrated with himself for that error.
Rebuild, aren't we? Bottom end of this. Oh, is there anything else we can do, lads? I think at the moment we can.
That's a sign of
Pressure coming down.
not a lot of options there for the British team after that pre-start penalty, and that deficit they had to pay early, handing control of the race immediately to Emirates Team New Zealand, so they just have to keep it tight.
To an intersection.
Try and force Emirates Team New Zealand to make an unforced error.
Big rider here, yeah. Looks good, right, I think.
It's not that windy.
Team New Zealand straight out of the playbook, match racing. Keep the cover on, keep yourself between the opposition and the top mark. Pretty simple stuff when you're in the lead. For the trailing boat, it's about trying to create leverage. The other thing I'm noticing is the New Zealand flight, they fly the boat very, very close to the water, getting a lot of end plate effect. It looks like Ineos to me, some of it is because of the higher top sides, just flies a little bit higher.
It's a great observation by Pete on the water, and the idea of the flight of these boats is to fly the hull as close as you possibly can over the water surface. That big skeg underneath just creating a tiny little vortex at the bow.
Just got to do it on our times.
Yeah.
Which travels under the hull, creating an air curtain.
Potentially early drive, we'll see what the pressure looks like. Back copy. Far on the lay is good for laying a trail. Yep.
This race has a real feel of yesterday. Just control, defend beautifully, and keep them behind you. It's a jobbing well executed by the defender at this point in the race.
Actually quite steady wind in direction. Not that many options for the British team.
We are at the halfway stage of race number 3 in the match for the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup. And the defender, Emirates Team New Zealand, still in control.
Just squeeze. Check what they do.
As soon as you think we're clear of gas, it's probably not bad.
Plenty of time to celebrate. Up 2-0. What will the score be at the end of this one? Ineos Britannia. They've been hurting since the start from that boat-on-boat penalty.
5. Yeah, found away in 3, 2, 1, down. 1. Hit it, boys. I think go all the way to boundary here for gas. Trap, push up.
So the aerodynamic performance of both boats about 5 times less critical on the downwinds compared to the upwinds, with just a lot less airflow going over the hull on the downwind, but hydrodynamically extremely important. So most of the drag being picked up by the foils on both boats.
I will.
Time to go on board the chase boat for Emirates Team New Zealand. Coach Ray Davies joins us once again. Aggressive in the start box has paid off.
Yeah, it sure did. It was great to see a bit of match racing creeping in there, so really, really awesome. The guys, JJ and Sam, have been on this one for quite a while, and we've been practicing it a lot, and Ben's been asking for someone to do it for quite some time, so it was good that it was us that gave him one of those.
Ray, the distance between those foils was frighteningly close. I think the shots later on will show how close that was, but both boats doing a great job to avoid. But yeah, nice to see some great match racing, and obviously matching jibs, so the right call again from the weather team.
Yeah, no, it's all going well today. It's going to get tricky though. This breeze is getting softer and softer, so we're seeing 8s and 7.5s at times on the course. We'll just get another lap in and try bank another one, but it's tricky out here.
Yeah, what are you expecting from the racetrack as this afternoon goes on?
Oh, we're just expecting it to soften off. All of the forecasts are just having this breeze easing as the day goes on, and we came out here and really, really beautiful 12 to 13 knots of breeze a couple of hours ago, and it's just been trending down, and yeah, can't really expect it getting right back up to those numbers again.
As always, thanks for your insight, Ray.
Okay.
About 20 delay.
This is the race committee. We are moving the windward gate, shortening to 1.3 nautical miles.
So about 10. I think it might go back, so happy to go relatively hard on it. 5.
Nice.
Quite a lot of changing gears, different moding in this race. We started in 4 knots more.
2, 1, forward down.
A lot of adaptability in the setups.
Both boats doing over 4 times wind speed at the moment, so extremely efficient in these light air conditions.
So we're straight through, aren't we? Yeah, we are.
I think just trying to get mid-gate for nice apex on 1. Steady.
It's the ABN. Andy, need waves.
Keep it together.
Approaching the bottom gate to complete leg number 4. Emirates Team New Zealand have been in control since the start.
I think so. Just check the phase.
Penalty that was forced upon Ineos Britannia has been a hard one. But there are no friends in this. They're friends off the water, but when on the water, they are rivals. 2 legs to go for the defender.
Right spot there for Ineos Britannia. They'll be punching into that wing wash of Emirates Team New Zealand coming around this mark.
Trap here.
Ineos Britannia coming around that right-hand mark. Now they head up with 2 to go.
Go early tack or go? Stand by? Yep. Forward down. 3, 2, 1, mate. Turning. 2, 1, down board.
Massive crowds out today here in Barcelona to witness races 3 and 4 of the match. The city is crawling with racing supporters.
How's it look, lads? Still, maybe something right on the right-hand side. Yeah.
Onto the Ineos chase boat, and as always, good to chat to Coach Rob Wilson. Any thoughts on that penalty in the start box, Rob?
We'll have a look at it afterwards and dig into it more closely.
Rob, there's not many options here. It seems pretty even wind. What can you do?
Yeah, we're just hanging in there at the moment, just trying to put pressure on them. Although, you know, it's just one bad manoeuvre for them, and we're back in the race. But they're sailing cleanly and not making many mistakes at the moment. So we've just got to wait for that opportunity.
How surprised were you in the pre-start with how aggressive the Kiwis were?
We've kind of expected it from them, like looking at their AC40 racing. You know, they like to get involved and they like to mix it up and keep it pretty freestyle. So, yeah, we're kind of expecting it, and it certainly came today.
Thank you for your time, Rob.
Thank you.
Certainly a lot of shore crew and boat builders would have had a little heart flutter there. At one point in time, I certainly did. Clash of the foils, not the ideal.
Yeah, left turn of the guy's pretty nice.
Over to right now.
All the teams only allowed to build 3 foils in total.
Carry on, what I can see.
Yeah, I'd agree. Already right.
I guess there is a spare of sorts.
Really nice mode for it.
I mean, look at the foil there on the leeward side of Emirates Team New Zealand.
Definitely keep going if they go now.
More spray deflectors on both teams, stopping that onset flow travelling up the shaft of the foil, and you can separate that flow. Slightly lower drag. Emirates Team New Zealand flight controls needing to keep those air bombs clear of the surface for low drag.
For me, one of the differences between the boats is the ability of the New Zealand boat to accelerate after tacks. I think the boats are very evenly matched on all around the track, but every tack manoeuvre just looks to me as though Emirates Team New Zealand gets back up to target speed just a little bit quicker and easier than Ineos.
With the bias, that's sweet, isn't it?
Yeah, that's sweet. There's nice pressure right turn. Just choosing a time to link cut back down.
Yep.
The voice of Andy Maloney picking the breeze up the course. I mean, their manoeuvres have been absolutely world class, haven't they? Not a foot wrong.
No, they've been sailing the boat very, very well, getting the optimum performance out of the boat in these conditions. Trying to sail as closely as you can to 100% BMG.
This is the race committee. We are moving the finish line, shortening the final leg to 1.2 nautical miles.
Port down.
Emirates Team New Zealand. Complete leg number 5 of 6. Get around this final mark, and they're on the downwind leg to home.
All the way, wheels. They've gone on that last well. So.
And if you're an Emirates Team New Zealand fan, you'd be happy with what you're seeing right now.
Pretty even on the breeze.
They love it in Kiwi corner.
Currently, obviously we're not going to the soft stuff. And just remember we're in our sort of idea of technique here. Yep. That'll head it. Yeah, real nice breeze here. Nice.
I think all the way.
Ineos Britannia now coming in to complete the 5th leg.
2, 1, mate. Turning my wheel on exit.
Go back to what Dylan Fletcher said early in the piece. There wasn't much they could do.
Slow turn.
It'll hurt this one. This one will hurt.
Yeah, a lot. A massive frustration from that error in the pre-start. We've seen it so important, isn't it, to win the start. The really tight course, not many options for passing.
Look, quite a way ahead here.
I suppose surely in one part of that whole discussion is that the aggression of the Kiwis, I suppose, may have surprised us. We're seeing it for the first time, but it'll now play into Ben's hand. We're going, okay, you want to play that game? Let's wait for race number 4.
think the 9 boat leads that Emirates Team New Zealand took out of Ineos up that second win would be. I'd put that down to tacking technique and acceleration. Now they head down to the finish, the right-hand side of the track, or the left-hand looking down the track. There's a little bit more pressure, and that's pretty well the game plan, just protect the favoured side of the course.
Nothing obvious, St. Job now.
Oh yeah, we can take it off if you like.
I think that pre-start probably put the British on the back foot. I don't think they were quite expecting the absolute aggressiveness of
looks good on the side.
the Kiwi team, and both these 75-foot boats coming at each other, bow and bow, closing speeds of around about 60 knots at that point in time.
Glenn, I mean, you sailed on this team for a long time. This is a new look, a new level of aggression for this Kiwi outfit.
Certainly sailing really, really well.
That's all good.
Long way to go, though. And we've seen results change through previous series, so keep chipping away, do the simple things well. Keep sailing the boat at its best performance.
Just,
Do you want to be port or like right or offshore or inshore after this?
I'd prefer to be on the other, so maybe we'll just go over there and then...
They have controlled race 3 from leg 1 through 6 on the back of an aggressive start.
Just round up, go over by the committee.
Emirates Team New Zealand will now move to a 3-0 lead in the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup match.
Up 3.
I don't even see me.
That's too much cold.
Nice race, guys.
Awesome. Great start.
Flags are flying.
Pretty close swords, eh?
Pressure's on.
I was getting a bit nervous at one stage. Nice work. It's you going to turn into the pedal. Shot boys, real connected. Nice work. B Neil, back, yes.
Apologies for
yes,
the
just apologise for the
there, but sometimes after you've pushed the pedals hard for a big race, you think you're off comms, but you're not.
Yeah, apologise for that one, but you can understand it. Ineos Britannia back to a reset and get ready for race 4. They were kicking themselves on the penalty. It was that moment and a controlled lead by Emirates that cost them a chance to get on the board. And they cross and finish race number 3 of the match.
Keep plugging, guys. Long way to go with this.
Lovely words there from Ben Ainsley to his troops. They'll be licking their wounds.
Confirmation then of race 3 in the match. It's Emirates Team New Zealand with a 52-second win to open the day. Yesterday they opened the day with a 41-second win. You heard Ben Ainsley say, though, a long way to go. And that's the scoreboard. 3 green dots means Emirates Team New Zealand, the defender, are just 4 race wins from successfully defending. On board Emirates Team New Zealand and Peter Burling. Peter, aggressive start. Wow, no one saw that one coming.
Oh, we tried it yesterday and he just got past us, but it was a little bit uncomfortable, to be honest, with how close the boats got. But interesting to see how the umpires obviously ruled we were pretty clear there. So great to get a penalty and control the race from there.
Yeah, Pete, congratulations. It looked close, and we heard you say on the comms it felt like you crossed swords. How much have you been working on that? To us, that is a new look, aggressive Emirates Team New Zealand.
Oh, we've been working on little bits and pieces. We've seen, I suppose, how hard it is when you're accelerating at a sub-attack boat. So it was great to finally be able to execute it in a race and when it counted.
All right, appreciate the time, Pete. Get ready for race number 4, as usually understated. Let's go across to Ineos Britannia, have a quick chat to Ben. Ben, have you got some thoughts on the penalty in the start box?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure it's a tough call. It was obviously at port starboard and felt like we were keeping clear, but obviously the umpires didn't see it that way. So, you know, that's the rubber to green.
What now, Ben? You've got 30 minutes before this next race. How do you reset?
Oh, yeah, we'll have a good look, have a chat with coaches and look at the conditions, the breeze is dying off a little bit, but yeah, we're just going to keep upbeat. We know there's a long way to go in this competition. We'll just keep pushing hard.
Still believing that you're as close when it comes to performance, because I get that feeling coming off your boat.
Well, maybe that's the Kiwi commentator in you, mate.
Okay, I'll take that one on the chin. Thanks, buddy.
Well, it all happened before the start, didn't it? Got us all slightly unaware, including Ben Ainsley not keeping clear of the Kiwis. It was so close. Foils nearly touching, nothing in it. And that put Ineos Britannia massively on the back foot. They had to start and immediately lose 75 metres. And the Kiwi outfit capitalised on that. Textbook defending from Emirates Team New Zealand, upwind and downwind, staying in phase with the breeze and in phase with the opposition.
Happy to hang on to this windward.
Kiwi team did a great job, just slowly extending. Beautiful execution on the manoeuvres, just gaining them a few meters at a time, staying in more wind in this dying pressure. And that led to this, a commanding lead in race 3 for Emirates Team New Zealand. They took the win.
I don't even see me. We're into an MC.
Really, this was the absolute key moment in this race. Those 4.5 metre long steel blades almost slicing into the side of each boat, and that would have been an absolute disaster for both shore teams and the boats. You see there, the foils absolutely fully overlap there, so a couple of metres in that, and that could have been a whole different story to what we're going to have this afternoon. Just having a little look at the data there, and the Kiwis just a little bit quicker there on their downwind speed. Not much in it though, both boats in a straight line, very, very even, and possibly just a small advantage to the Kiwis, sailing a slightly shorter distance overall, and their average VMG about 0.4 of a knot advantage. Same manoeuvres. See some of the big pushes there from both teams around those marks and out of those manoeuvres in those light air conditions. Over 1,000 watts of power being put in there by Cam Webster and Ben Cornish. Absolutely fantastic effort, really high average wattage as well for that 23-minute duration.
Turns out rowers are quite good at cycling.
All the legs in rowing.
Monster crowds have come into Barcelona to beach today, also Bogatel Beach and the Mall de la Fusta, where there's another race village here on the foreshore of Barcelona city. It's really, in fact, in the last 48 hours, it has gone absolutely bananas. The question now, the official challenger of record is down by 3. What can they do?
They really need to get off the start line in good shape. I mean, I think it's as simple as that, particularly in these lighter, more steady conditions. We've just seen over the previous racing just how important it is to get your boat off the start line in better shape than your opponent. They really need to get off the start line, Shirley.
I mean, they haven't won one start, and we saw how dominant they were in the starting box against Luna Rossa. I mean, they have all the capabilities. They just need to reset, and that's exactly what they're doing there, having a chat with Rob Wilson, their coach, Giles Scott, head of sailing, just trying to calm it down. I mean, they have they have all the skills they need to deliver a good start. They just haven't yet.
Yeah, the manoeuvres that they've been pulling off, you know, in all the racing leading up, we've been so impressed with just how well they throw the boat round and, you know, how aggressive they've been against their previous opponents. And I think Emirates Team New Zealand have sort of been watching all those other races really, really closely and have been monitoring what they've been doing, and they counter-moved really well today. So lots of discussion about sail choices, jib changes, this dying breeze. We'd expect to see both teams potentially on bigger front sails. So as that breeze drops down, you need more sail area to generate more power and more performance off these AC75s.
Okay, speaking of being on the water and watching potential jib changes go on, Peter Lester, what are your thoughts heading into race 4?
Well, condition-wise, it is changing quite quickly. It's lightening off, and the breeze will continue to go to the right, and it could actually lighten right off and get under the limit. I hope we get the second race off. The other one, look, we know we're in the Americas game. The pressure's on, and I think the barometer has gone up a little bit in terms of, you know, some of the comms coming off the boats. And let's not forget, next race, we're halfway through the regatta. It's, I think, the next race for Ineos, absolutely vital that they come out and get a point on the board.
Yeah, it would have been like taking a couple of liver punches if they go down by another race. But, you know, we've talked about this through this whole regatta. They have fought. They will know how to dig and come back.
What's in Ben Ainsley's DNA? He always starts the regatta badly and gets better and better and more sharper and fired up. Let's see if he can pull that out for this next race.
So that is something to look forward to here off the coast of Barcelona. It's day 2 of the match in the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup, and the defender lead 3-0. Let's talk about technology and changing the game, shall we? At the 36th America's Cup in New Zealand, Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli introduced dual helming to the world. It allowed the helmsman who wasn't steering to take on the role of tactician and removed the need for crewmen to switch sides of the boat during manoeuvres. Well, guess what? Now it's the norm, and all 6 teams here in Barcelona embraced the strategy.
It's been really interesting how this dual helm business has evolved, and clearly Luna Rossa were the first team to implement it, and we saw that through the last Cup.
And turning.
Okay, my rudder.
Having gone through it through this cycle, you know, really you had to take your hats off to them for making that work in the last cycle. In our helm lineup, we got a number of really talented sailors. Certainly when we look at the helms, we've got Giles Scott, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, Dylan Fletcher, gold medalist and super experienced high performance sailor, and myself. And so we're, in a way, we're spoiled for choice. It's fantastic to have that much talent available to us, and ultimately you have to weigh up. It's a very difficult decision, particularly when you've got 2 such talented sailors as you do in Dylan and Giles.
At Ineos Britannia, we have Ben Ainsley on the starboard side helmsman, and I'm on the port side. To be sat here helming on the port side is not something I expected when I joined the campaign. It was obviously a dream of mine, but it was relatively late, to be honest, getting the sort of, I guess, nod to be in this seat, and yeah, it certainly is something that I wasn't expected at all.
Dylan's got a huge high-performance background. He's a MOF world champion, 49er, gold medalist. So he has that innate feeling for high-performance boats and what really makes them tick, what makes them go fast.
RB3, the AC75, is a fantastic boat to sail. I guess from my background of 49ers and MOFs, and then obviously spending some time on the AC40, it certainly feels very similar, but obviously it's on steroids and it's quite a big rocket ship.
He is definitely an out-and-out born racer. You know, he's out there to win, there's no doubt about that.
Ben's just, you know, laser focused and very determined to make the boat go as fast as possible. along with just, you know, wanting to maximise the performance, push it very hard, whilst also at the end of the day we've got to keep the asset safe, you know. So yeah, I think he's just very determined and pushes the boat hard.
I've got a lot of experience in match racing, both traditional match racing and match racing in these AC75s, but it still requires, you know, the guy on the other side of the boat to sort of share that intensity and be prepared to put the boat in some difficult positions if it's needed.
I think we'll see some more manoeuvres in the pre-starts than we've seen previously, so I think it's been amazing to sail with Ben and just how good he is on all of the match racing. It's something that I'm very inexperienced at. Ben and I have had different, you know, sailing experience previously, and he's then been in that sort of laser and fin and, you know, even campaign version 5 boats all the way through to these foiling generation now. You know, me, I've been a bit 49er and the Moth, and so I think that really provides a nice difference between us where we're able to bounce ideas off each other, and we saw through the 2 boating on the AC40, we really started to push our game on and start making some big gains as a team.
In many ways we complement each other quite well in terms of our different backgrounds, brings different talents to the fore. But I think when you really drill into it, we both are hugely determined to be successful on the water. And, you know, we're going to push hard, we're going to push each other hard. And at this level, I think, you know, you need to go into these situations knowing that, you know, you've got to be prepared to put the boat in some difficult situations. There's going to be quite a lot of jeopardy involved with that. And you want to know that you're backing each other to really go into those situations and push hard and hopefully come out in the lead.
Huge crowds in on Sunday in Barcelona for day 2 of the match in the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup. The one thing you get from any sailor in this cup is passion, an obsession to win this almost untouchable piece of silver, which is considered priceless. As we head into race 4, Emirates Team New Zealand hold a 3-0 lead. And the question is, what are we seeing, Shirley, that we might not have seen before, that is turning into a real problem for Ineos Britannia?
Well, Emirates Team New Zealand look good in all areas. I guess before this cup, generally they produce a boat that is rock solid, fast, and they know how to sail it well, and they have delivered wins. But here, there's another added dimension. They knew it would be a close battle, second iteration of the 75s, and they are race sharp, and that is something that we weren't necessarily expecting because we haven't seen them racing also for 5 weeks. But they have, out the blocks, have been sharp as pin.
Nick Burridge there up the top of the rig as Emirates Team New Zealand put on a slightly bigger mainsail in these dying breeze conditions. So Nick Burridge, a long-term member of the team, spends a lot of time up in the air, also a lot of time on the ground organising his troops, as do a lot of other people. But absolutely fantastic sailing, what we've seen so far, and I think both teams really pushing the match racing side of things, and the use of simulators at the moment absolutely taking away from the need to do a lot of 2-boating on the water, but even getting out on the AC40s and practicing all your match race training with your coaches, with the support staff, super important.
Important it is. Important too that Ineos Britannia, heading into race 4, get their points on the board. They need a point, and they need it fast. In some ways, it's Ben Ainslie versus this man, Peter Burling, isn't it? Emirates Team New Zealand's helm has a special place in the America's Cup history books. At 26, he became the youngest helmsman to win the Old Mug. Now he wants to become the second skipper of the modern era to win the Cup, not once, not twice, but 3 times in a row.
For me, the culmination of the America's Cup is that beautiful merger of taking risks, design, development, and then having to actually put it all together and execute it. I think it's what makes the intrigue of the America's Cup so special. Hi, I'm Peter Burling and I'm the skipper of Emirates Team New Zealand. Sometimes people refer to me as Pistol Pete. No, actually, sometimes people refer to me as Pistol. I think I was incredibly lucky to be able to race on big stages relatively early in my career against some of the best sailors in the world. The whole way through my career, I just raced against older people. You know, I went to my first Olympic Games at 17. The more situations you've seen, the more high-pressure moments you've been in, the better you're going to be. I think when I jumped in the America's Cup environment, I've been well prepped for what I had to face there.
And Peter Burling, he's pretty close now, Ken, to achieving a lifetime dream, and that has to start to enter his head.
One thing that stuck with me for a long time was 2017 after we capsized the boat in Bermuda.
Goodness me. Men overboard, crisis time for New Zealand. That is a shocking sight, and we hope that everybody is safe and well.
Sean, the head of our shore team, coming up and just saying that we want you to push the boat super hard. Obviously, these things will happen, we'll fix it, and just carry on doing what you're doing. Just have the full support of the team, that it's all part of the journey, and we'll fix it, we'll get back out there and just carry on.
What a turnaround from 2 days ago when the boat was upside down.
I think as a culture, we really try and instill people not to be afraid to make mistakes, to push super hard, and everyone's here with the same goal, and we need to take risks to win this thing. To give yourself a chance at winning the America's Cup, you've got to have a fast boat. So that means you've got to have a sailing team that's good at developing the boat, a design team that's good at developing the boat. I think that's been one of our big strengths traditionally over the other teams, is that the sailing team is very blended with the design team. Each time, the boats get faster, the closing speeds get greater, the level across the board just keeps raising, so you've got to race with it. As you come towards the end of the campaign, that rate of development that you think would slow down just keeps ramping. Being able to push that development, that progression, is such an important part of the America's Cup. I mean, if you don't have a fast enough boat come the end, you're not going to win. For me, I want to go into the first race of the America's Cup knowing that we've done everything we can. Go in confident that if we put our best foot forward, are going to win the America's Cup again.
Traction behind 090.
There is a meeting of the sharpest minds on Emirates Team New Zealand. There are your two helms. Starboard, Peter Burling, and then Nathan Arridge, the newest addition to the team, and then Andy Maloney there. One of the grinders looking like he's done enough already, Hamish Bond. But let's start talking about tactically what's required by Ineos Prochangi to get themselves back into this match and get their first point on the board, and how Emirates can stop them doing that.
Yeah, look, I think at the end of the day, tactically, it's a whole package that you need to do, within the America's Cup. You need to tactically sail well, your boat handling needs to be on point, and you need the wider team supporting and being behind you with that process. And the processes that you go through, each of these teams, absolute experts at following process, and there's no deviation from that. There's no sort of freelancing or freewheeling or free thinking. You stick to the process and you're drilled, and then you execute that, and then you can be successful.
And match racing is a massive part of that, your playbook. It is a formula. It is not, as you say, freewheeling. If your opposition does one thing, you do the other, but you have to deliver with amazing accuracy. That is the key.
Onto the water, Peter, you've been listening about tactics. What are you expecting to see from Ineos?
I think a controlled aggression, as opposed to maybe just taking too high a risk, managing the risk reward, because in that race that we've just seen, I thought going into today it would be Ben Ainsley as the aggressor. Well, he probably just got caught out, and Peter Burling took it to him. But I think in this one, the Ineos need to get back on their game, be very, very accurate in pre-start. They're going to come in from starboard and be first off the line. Their starting is letting them down.
Thanks, Pete. Appreciate the time. It's going to be spicy, race number 4. as we look at Ineos Britannia, fresh from beating Italy, they are match fit and match hardened. Now, the Ben Ainsley playbook helped them win the Louis Vuitton Cup, but the team is adamant the best is yet to come. Now, tactics, yes, they have been fine-tuned, strategies have been refined, and hopefully mistakes will be eliminated.
Right, guys, keep it tight here. He's got a lay line. And we are ahead at the moment. You've one and then left. So hard all the way up. Watch your up. Watch your up.
I think it's across the board. Our biggest gains have been both in straight line performance and manoeuvring. And the manoeuvring is really critical. We obviously do a lot of manoeuvres in a race, be that tacking, jibing, mark rounding. And every time you spend re-accelerating, trying to get back up to top speed is obviously lost performance. So, you know, those are the big areas that we've been working on. We've obviously analysed our own performance, analysed some of the opposition, what they're doing, and yeah, the performance gains have been huge.
They tack back, taking me now. We'll tack on them here.
The biggie is, you know, if you're tacking better, you can gain a boat length, you can gain 2 boat lengths, which is massive, even in boats that are moving so fast.
Tough spot for Luna Rossa here, right in the dirt, in the wash.
You can put the boat where you want to, so Ben and Dylan, you know, have more tactical options.
Potential to get in here. Potential to get in left turn here.
Ben's done so much match racing over the years, you know, he knows exactly where he wants to position his boat, and unless you're completely confident in what you can do and you're not going to mess up a tack or a jibe, it's quite hard to do exactly what you want to do, but as soon as that confidence comes in the boat handling, you're much more likely to do those tight leave-out tacks, and you know, it just means you can shut down a race much more easily.
We will leave-out them on the tack.
When you come back to the sort of fundamentals of match racing, it is all about execution and boat-on-boat positioning, and we're getting better at that. You know, we get more confidence in the boat, in how we can manoeuvre and position the boat, and we're going to need it up against the Kiwis. We're going to need every bit of that sort of match racing expertise to take them on and beat them.
They are just trying to live on us at the moment. Do have control here.
It's a really, you know, tricky balance between how hard you push the boat versus what are the actual capabilities of the boat, and you know, how you can execute maneuvers. And in terms of match racing, there's a huge kind of yin and yang between those two aspects, because you know, you go one step too far and how hard you push it and you fall off the foils. You can see, you know, we've seen it even in the finals where that can be a race-ending kind of situation. You know, I think we're in a position now where, you know, we've got confidence that we can execute a lot of these different manoeuvres at different times, you know, to put pressure on the other team.
We are in a right here at the moment. They are marginal one and in right.
Ben's obviously got a lot of match racing kind of experience behind him for you know, many campaigns, and you know, I think he's really relishing the fact that he's, you know, able to now push the boat as, you know, into that really kind of match race dynamic.
Tactically, between Ben and Dylan, they're always weighing up the risks of separating from an opponent. So if they're ahead, you know, you either just cover that opponent and you just tack on them.
Let's breeze this way.
Loose cover by Ineos Britannia, just shepherding them over to that right-hand side.
If you want to shut down a race, you've got to control that opponent and pretty much go the same way as they do.
This racetrack is really patchy, big differences in wind pressure.
Onto the early attack.
Flip side of that is at times, you know, you'll have more wind on one side of the course, or you'll expect a shift to be coming in up at the top of the course. And so then you protect that side of the beat.
It's full of opportunity. Ineos Britannia playing it safe, defending well.
So if you imagine the right's powerful, there's the starboard tack boat. If you've got that lead advantage, then you'll be tacking hard, like on their face, we call it, and that always forces them off to the other side of the course. So you get richer by going to the bias side, you know, either for more pressure or more breeze. But you know, there's always a little bit of risk involved in that.
Still high, maybe with Haddon. Take it to high now. It's wrong.
We have a few more tricks up our sleeve, you know, a few areas on the performance side that we need to implement this week. We're pushing all the time, you know, you make use of every hour. There's some new idea, some clever development, and I think New Zealand, I'm sure, will be doing the same.
But one more to go, boys. Sincere, boys! Got the big one.
The team is in as good a place as I've ever seen it, so we're just raring to go.
Wherever you are in Barcelona, molt bona tarda a tothom. We are just under 9 minutes away from race start in the 4th race of the match in the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup. And the conditions, wow, they are getting pretty light, but look at that. That's when you know you're in an America's Cup match, because that fleet has swollen over the last few days, and it's a very busy Port Vale as they head up onto the racetrack, where at the moment the defender leads 3-0 against the official challenger of record and the winner of the Louis Vuitton Cup, which is Ineos Britannia. The question now is, what will unfold in race number 4? Look at that thing, isn't that beautiful? That's a big great day out on one of those. Hey, just chugging around.
I'd have to take McQuell's, I think, if I was spending the day on a little boat out there, because it is quite bumpy at the moment out there. The wind is dropping, but the sea state has stayed up a little bit, so.
Yeah, let's just have a look at the course. I mean, it's pretty even across the track, but it has dropped in pressure. It's getting perilously low to our limit of 6.5. Let's just have a look at the optimum route, the ghost boat. I mean, currently, it's just trying to go straight as long as it can and avoid maneuvers and come in from the right-hand side at the top. So a kind of stable and steady racetrack, but dropping as the afternoon rolls on.
7 minutes and 15 to race start, so it sounds like it's going to be another dance on the tightrope in race number 4. On to the course with Peter Lester. Peter, thoughts on the weather and also the sea state for this race coming up?
Sea state's about the same as the one before. Conditions-wise, it's just going to continue to drop. Hopefully they'll get this off before it gets under that minimum. Looking out to sea, still the right-hand side, there's a bit of shift, the wind is going to the right, and it just looks to me as though there's a little bit more pressure up towards the top mark. So final approach coming in on starboard.
So it could be a delicate dance. It's one we look forward to as we count down towards the start in race number 4. And the crowds haven't shifted. And why would they? Lovely day in Barcelona. Great place to watch some AC75 racing. And it's the match in the America's Cup. What could be better? Here we go. Race 4 in the match.
At 3-0, it's hard to deny momentum is now tilting New Zealand's way. We expected meticulous preparation from this Kiwi outfit, but their pace, execution, and calm, aggressive decision-making straight out of the blocks has been impressive. Fueled by race-winning confidence, they look tough to beat. On the wheels, it's Pete Burling on port, sailing in his first Cup match. Olympic gold medalist Nathan Outridge. The reliable Blair Took and Andy Maloney sit in the trimmer pilot seats. And those mighty cyclers pushing out the walls are Vanderpool and Allen, and clipped in on starboard, Sinclair and Olympic rowing legend Hamish Bond.
The British team of Ineos Britannia need to come out firing in race 4 of the 37th America's Cup. The official challenger of record are battle-hardened but have taken some early blows in the quest to lift the old mug. Driving the yacht again is Ben Ainsley and Dylan Fletcher, and controlling the flight is Bledden Mon and Lee McMillan. On the pedals for today's second race is the fresh legs of Harry Leask, Neil Hunter, Ryan Todd Hunter and Luke Parkinson.
So, out on the race course, waiting for a...
This is the race committee. We have failed the wind limit and moving the start to 15:20.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Race management confirming those conditions are just not good enough for sailing right now.
It must be only just. I mean, we're seeing 7.8, 7.2 on the marks. That is measured. That is measured at the top marks and also at the start marks, and they have to have an average of over 6.5 at both to let the race go.
You can see on the left-hand side of your screen, bottom left, that's what the Shirley was describing, the wind trend. The green is the average of the start line marks, and of course, the white is the average at the top gate, the windward marks. So this just throws something else into the pot of intrigue for race 4, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the breeze was forecast to drop. It's not a surprise to us or the teams. They've all powered up their boats. We saw Emirates Team New Zealand put on a bigger mainsail. They've both gone for the biggest jibs they've got. You know, they are ready for this light wind battle.
We must have only just tripped that wind limit just in the final seconds before being live for that race. And Mel and Ian Murray and the race management team very, very close there to getting that race away, but there is a finite limit of 6.5 knots, and if it does go below that, there's no if buts or maybes. It's a no-go. So we will be waiting to see if this wind comes back.
There is a factoring for tide that also kicks in, so we may have slightly more than the minimum, but the current factor takes it below.
8 minutes and counting to the start in race number 4 of the match in the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup. You are looking at the defender, looking to make it 3 Cup regatta wins in a row.
Louis Sinclair and Hamish Bond.
This is the race committee. We have failed the wind limit and moving the start to 15:23.
So we probably wouldn't be surprised if we see both teams slowing down and re-hooking up with their chase boats and on-water team.
So 10 minutes and 19 seconds and counting towards the start in race number 4. So we're on the edge of the wind limit. So stay tuned. Anything can happen here in Barcelona, and we have seen it before. Barcelona has had a magnificent regatta. These are part of it. The J-class yachts are a sight, aren't they? Majestic boats that reigned supreme in the 1930s. They were 180 tons, take around 30 crew to race. There are just 9 in existence. 3 are originals, 6 are replicas built from the original design. Purists love them. It's not hard to understand why.
All clear. We want to be on to target. All the way up.
Well, back in the 1930s, the J-class were the cutting edge of technology. The latest materials, latest sails.
Hey guys, are we ready to jibe or not?
Around the mark for ages.
Just as relevant, today as they were back then in the 30s. There's a huge parallel with us and the actual cup boats now.
Feel like you've got a big responsibility. You feel like you're a part of history in some ways. The owners are very passionate people, and you want to do your best by them.
In the 1930s, these were the top echelon of yachting. Everyone wanted to be involved in the America's Cup. It was the top of the sport.
So very much at the time they were pushing the boundaries of how big, how much sail plan they could put up, how much they could physically manage with the crews, and very early days of having vague winches, but everything was manpower.
Is it going to be soft after the tack?
The boats were filled with top crews, but also top fishermen, because they were strong, hardy, and they had to sail them across the Atlantic.
Okay, we're trimming up on the wind here from the tank.
Everyone wanted to get on board and get involved in the America's Cup and on these yachts.
Yeah, the J-Class were the America's Cup boats. There were 9 built, and there were plans for more boats to be built, such as Svea, but the war was looming in Europe, and that put the end to the J-Class. Svea was designed in 1937 by Torholm. He's very famous for designing 8 metres and 6 metre boats up in Sweden, and he designed Svea for 2 Swedish industrialists. The design was thought to be lost, and was found 25 years ago this year in Torholm's daughter's archive by John Lammerts van Buren. I mean, it was the J that everybody talked about that was never built, and it was the lost J, as she was known. And then, and here we are now. The boat was built in 2012, and then the previous owner of Svea took up the build again in 2016, and so we launched in 2017. Everybody looks at these boats and just looks at them and says, "Wow, that's just an incredible bit of machinery."
Rainbow's a replica of the 1934 America's Cup winner, which was originally American.
Completely identical to the original boat in the hull shape. So we'd like to think we can go out and be ultra competitive. The original boat won the Cup in 34, won the trials 33. It was second in the trials in 1937. And then of course the boat was destroyed before World War II. We know the history and we want to be proud of the boat.
Let's just sail on course for a while and let them trim.
Rainbow sails during a regatta with 30 people. Everyone has a job. It's a choreographed ballet of yachting, of big people. Rainbow's a beautiful boat. We're custodians, and the owner's a custodian of the history of the boat. It's a real privilege to work on her and keep the class going and growing.
Valshuda built in 1933 in the UK. She was one of the only J's that wasn't initially built for the America's Cup. She was built for the big boat racing on the Solent and within Europe. But in her time, she was one of the most successful J's on the water. She's one of the original J's built out of steel. She spent some time in the mud, and she was sort of pushed together still without an engine, and then in the 90s, the current owner bought her and fully restored her to what we know the J-Class today. The way these boats are sailed with big crews, and I think it's something every sailor looks and dreams to get the opportunity to sail on them, and we're very, very lucky to have that opportunity.
The J's are timeless. I think the J's will, they've been sailing for 90 years, and I think they'll sail for another 90 years.
It is the glorious thing about the America's Cup, history. And we've been seeing it in real time here in Barcelona and have been thoroughly enjoying it. Enjoying it too as the rather large spectator fleet here off the coast of Barcelona on day 2 of the match for the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup, where Emirates Team New Zealand lead the official challenger of record, Ineos Britannia, 3-0. Remember, it's the 1st to 7, but we are right now struggling with wind. We are looking at around just under 9 minutes to a possible start. But it is what it is, and so now they have to, that's the old story, isn't it, Glenn and Shirley? Just reset, 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 but it must be incredibly frustrating, despite the fact that I know you've told me on many occasions that's sailing.
Yeah, you get pretty used, don't you, for waiting for wind. I mean, I suppose the tricky thing this afternoon is the trend was for it to drop, and we have to have as a mandatory break between the 2 races. If they'd been able to race a bit earlier, perhaps we'd have been watching a second race by now. So tricky for race management. I think they'll give it a bit of time just to see if it settles down. I mean, we are seeing just over the wind limit, but obviously not consistently enough to make it happen.
You think they love being here in Barcelona supporting their team, whoever that team is, whether it be Ineos Britannia or Emirates Team New Zealand. Listen to it. It has just been going off in the last 48 hours. It has gone ballistic, and people are simply loving the Spanish lifestyle and the city of Barcelona. So stand by. We are still waiting a start for race number 4 in the match for the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup. There they are, Emirates Team New Zealand, one of the most storied teams in the America's Cup. They've won the Cup twice, defended it twice. The lessons have been hard-earned, hard-learned, and yes, they are an America's Cup powerhouse, but are under no illusion that a match-hardened, match-fit challenger is lying in wait.
So well matched, aren't they, in terms of performance? I mean, you could not pick one.
People thought I was joking a little bit in those first press conferences when I was saying that I think it's the highest level we've seen in the America's Cup across the challenges for a very long time.
They really have made a statement.
You know, each of the teams winning races, taking big scalps, and then just an incredibly close, probably top 3 between American Magic, Luna Rossa Pride Rally, and Ineos Britannia.
Britannia is on fire.
They're going to be a little bit more battle hardened out of those series.
Nice work, guys. Solid.
I think the work we've been doing in the background between since we left at the end of the round robin has been pretty valuable as well.
We arrived here in Barcelona pretty late. We went into the preliminary event and the round robins not in the position that we were planning to be in for the match.
Big speed advantage there, American Magic.
So we were still trying stuff in those earlier rounds.
The chase is not over for the defender.
Now we've locked in on where we're at, and we feel pretty comfortable that we've improved considerably, but like everyone else has. We haven't had the match race practice that those guys have had.
Push this boundary a little bit to get to the 10. Let's go. Go.
We've had more time to develop on speed things.
Big push, boys.
We always thought that the America's Cup was going to get back to proper match racing.
Cracking start by both boats.
Even in these high performance boats with converging speeds of 100 knots. So to actually see some really, really close racing.
Nothing in the performance of these two yachts, very, very evenly matched.
Some pre-start scenarios playing out.
Big loss of the rudder there for the Italians.
Attacking jewels, covering each other.
Yeah, let's hit them.
It's fantastic. So we're just doing countless drills.
4 early for the pin, keep pushing them at the pin.
Really nice, guys. All the way up.
Repeating scenarios we're seeing on the water. Move, counter move, what can we do to get the initial upper hand off the start line? That's so critical in these boats. It's really about minimising mistakes.
For sure it's a disadvantage to not do as many races as your opposition, but prior to coming to Barcelona we had a really intense period of a couple of months where we had our 2 AC40s. We probably did 100 starts. We had the preliminary regatta, we had the round robin, so there was 25 races that we got in there that we wouldn't normally have.
Oh, fantastic race here, both boats.
We feel a whole lot better than we did going into the match in Auckland, put it that way.
Yeah, we've put countless hours into the match racing playbook, understanding move, counter move. It was evident straight after Auckland that this was an area we had to keep developing and working on. So yeah, we've put 3 years into our match racing ability and now we're ready to showcase it.
I think the America's Cup match will be a huge clash, always is. The exciting thing here is that, you've got the Brits in the match after 60 years, so it's going to be fantastic.
Hey, nice games here, guys.
We know Ben well. He's been part of our team.
Boundary in 10.
I think we've had a lot of great racing with Ben over the years. You look back at my first America's Cup in Bermuda. I think we first seen him in the semi-final.
I'm sure it's going to be an awesome battle for the America's Cup.
Maybe we follow him up and then drive down.
Ben's pretty punchy in the pre-start.
Beautifully controlled by Ineos Britannia.
They're definitely looking for engagement of the other boat. They back their boat handling. You know, we've got to counter that, and we have to bring our A game. They've brought their A game to the Challenger Series.
Ain't nothing lucky about that, boys.
We've got to be at least at that level, and it's exciting. We're ready for it.
We're a team that's hugely passionate about the Cup and winning the Cup. And all we're thinking about right now is trying to defend. Now, whether that's 2, 3 or 4, it doesn't matter a lot of how we approach it.
To be honest, we don't think about the records or anything like that. I think the ethos of this group is to make sure we perform at the level we know we can, and we're all very confident that if we do that, we're going to have a really good shot at winning it.
Up there on 2. And press down it again.
Sunday in Barcelona, massive crowds in for the match. It's day number 2. The defenders, Emirates Team New Zealand, lead 3-0, and they are very, very patient. We're hearing 3:35 for a possible start. That's Kiwi corner and Kiwi kids as well. Oh yeah, they love it. Put a television camera, give them a flag, anything can happen. And then you go out onto the water and see some just beautiful, graceful boats. Let's go onto the water with Pete Lester. Pete, you're always talking to us about it's the America's Cup. How does the America's Cup and the America's Cup scene, how has it affected you over the years?
Oh, it's been a big part of my life. This is my 11th America's Cup, so I go way, way back. And to me, I love the intrigue. I love, you know, in some ways we miss some of the characters that used to be around the Cups. And I'm going back to 86, 88. I mean, Dennis Conner was just a firecracker for one line. It's a bit like Jimmy Spittle, and I love that banter. Now it's not so much to the fore. It's a lot more professional, a lot more managed. But what has not gone away is the intrigue with the technology and how quickly it moves forward and how quickly it changes. Even during a regatta, I thought at the press conference when Ben Ainsley came out, I think he was asked a question like, how much will the boats develop through the match? And he said a lot, and I completely agree with that. What you see on day 1 of the America's Cup is not what you see on the last day of the Cup, because some very, very smart people are involved with the development of the boats.
Thanks, Pete. 7 minutes and 20 seconds and counting to race number 4 in the match. Ben Ainsley stands on the precipice of greatness. He's got a singular vision to bring the America's Cup home. But at this point, he's truly in a fight for that dream. September 1964 was the last time a British boat made the America's Cup match. Now, almost 60 years to the day, Ineos Britannia rolls the waves of the Mediterranean with a 7-4 victory. They win the Louis Vuitton Cup and will meet Emirates Team New Zealand.
Got one more to go, boys. Not the big one.
It's an incredible moment for the team to win the Louis Vuitton Cup. It's just so much effort goes into these campaigns, and to reach the ultimate goal of getting to the America's Cup, we all know how tough that is in itself.
Yeah, to make it into the America's Cup match, you know, means a huge amount to this whole team. For some of us, it's our 3rd stab at it. You know, it's been a huge effort, and yeah, we're super excited now to take on the Kiwis in the America's Cup.
I can't put it into words. I can't. I don't have to do that. Oh, it means everything. Everything.
Winners of the Louis Vuitton Cup, Ineos Britannia!
Since there's been proper Challenger Series, we never got that far. The last time we were in an America's Cup match was 1964.
At Newport, Rhode Island, the English challenger Sovereign is ready for the 19th International Challenge match for the America's Cup. The challengers have never won a match.
We're under no illusions of that challenge. We really respect the history of the Cup. That's why we're doing it. The fact that Britain's never won the America's Cup, that's what drives us and motivates us.
These two have got history. 4 years ago, they were in the exact same position.
Yeah, Luna Rossa, Pride of Pirelli have got an amazing history in the America's Cup. They're a real class act. We seriously had our work cut out to catch them up and ultimately to beat them in that Louis Vuitton Cup final.
We are all locked up after the opening day of the Louis Vuitton Cup final.
Difficult through the final, to try and break the stalemate. One of us would go out win, and then the other would take the next race.
We are all locked up in the Louis Vuitton Cup final.
Obviously, they had some, unforced errors.
Massive splashdown by the Italian team.
No, we've broken everything. We had some unforced errors that cost us some race wins.
This is the umpires, GBR boundary penalty.
A massive mistake there by the British team.
I think it was sort of full of jeopardy within this cup.
Luna Rossa pushing, trying to get over the top.
Both these teams are sailing on the edge in a rough sea state.
Lost the rudder. Certainly wouldn't have wanted it any harder, to be honest.
Ineos Britannia are looking downwind to the finish line.
Coming to the finish here, lads. Awesome, guys. Nothing lucky about that, guys. Nice work.
I think both teams, ourselves and Luna Rossa, developed massively through that final. Each day that you're out racing at that level against such top competition. But I still believe, we're the massive underdogs in this game. The Kiwis are the defender. They've set this whole thing up, and really it's theirs to lose.
There's nothing quite like being in the pressure cooker of live or die competition where you're either in or you're out, and kind of facing that over a few rounds where you're right on the edge and pushing your teamwork, your communication and everything on the boat to be absolutely dialed in and taking that against Emirates Team New Zealand into the America's Cup. It's got to put us into a strong position.
Yeah, I've been fortunate to sail with Team New Zealand back for the 2007 Cup, so I understand a lot about the team, about the culture, about the leadership there. But having that understanding of an opponent also helps you in just what you're up against and how to tackle that. Really, there's an element of unknown about the lineup between ourselves and Emirates Team New Zealand. I mean, we saw them in the prelim regatta and the round robins. We know they're going to be seriously fast across a range of conditions. But I think we've got the boat. The team are really battle hardened, so we're up for the fight.
I don't think we could be more ready to take on the Kiwis in the America's Cup. We're super excited to see what they've got for us and to see if we can take them all the way and lift up the cup that we've come here for.
We all feel this is a huge opportunity ahead of us to make history and bring the cup back to Great Britain. At this point, it's just looking forward to getting on the start line and showing what it's all about. We know what we've got to do, and we're looking forward to that challenge against the Kiwis, and hopefully we can make some more history.
This is a massive opportunity for our team. I mean, it's really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But in my experience, when you get those in life, don't be scared. Step up, take it on, and give it everything you got.
So inside the Ineos Britannia race, we can officially confirm we've had the message from race management. Racing has been abandoned for the day. Abandoned for the day because of the wind conditions. There will be one race. Race 4 will be tomorrow on a Monday. We'll be racing tomorrow in race number 4. Just a single race in the match. So Ineos Britannia, one would suggest, breathe a sigh of relief.
I think they'll welcome this, a little bit of time to reset, regroup. Also, perhaps a different set of conditions tomorrow. We're expecting a little bit more breeze. So, hopefully it is a reset for the British camp.
Yeah, certainly looking forward to some great racing. When the breeze does get below that 6.5 knot wind limit, it does become quite flaky and quite random. So we want to see great racing, and that is why the wind limit is what it is.
So the fleet will come in and continue to celebrate being here in Barcelona and the America's Cup. Alrighty, let's take you to some racing. Let's go back 24 hours, and a little bit more than that, and the opening race in the match.
And
Down for attack from him.
Well, the British are in. They have entered the starting box. Just over a minute to go. There is lots of holes in this breeze, and we saw Great Britain fall foul of that.
Coming up all the way.
55 to the start.
3,
looking to tack under them, I think.
Final foot.
Okay, they go early, go past. Go past.
They're going past.
Fun.
8 for the pin.
All about the time and distance, how long there is left to the start, how long it's going to take you to get there, your position relative to the opposition.
There's good stuff far right, so if they go, I'd want to go with them.
Slower, sorry. Go on.
Emirates Team New Zealand a little early, just having to kill a little bit of time. The British will be almost time on distance for the pin from where they are.
Well, we didn't get the fight, the tussle we were hoping for. But this is going to be close at the start.
The charge towards history is about to begin. Race 1 of the match. And the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup is a go.
Average face, slightly righty.
Go heel. Okay. 30 to boundary.
A beautiful start from the Kiwis. 3.5 metres back, nothing at this speed, doing 35 knots.
A little early speed advantage to Emirates Team New Zealand. Just off the line with about 2.5 knots more boat speed, converting that into an early gain.
Going to use all the boundary.
Kiwi team though in this light air, when they do tack, if they exit the boundary on port tack, they will be the giveaway boat. Whilst they're inside the boundary, they have all the rights.
It's good. They've gone low and heavy fast. Nice breeze coming on us.
Lovely tack from Emirates Team New Zealand.
We just want to make sure we get out of here if we need to.
Or try and get out fast.
I can go faster.
Yep. Big pressure here. Feels really nice.
Taking Kano. Taking main line.
Just kind of time trial at the top. Get this go-to done.
The two helmsmen on board New Zealand at the top, Nathan Outridge on the left-hand side.
Hey, tech I would go with. Transitioning the lull now.
Okay, go to that next puff now. Yeah, I think you're all the way to that righty now.
236, slightly left of average. Up to through here.
Yep. New Zealand are gaining here. Since I've been on port, I'm just watching those metres gained, and it's Ineos that are losing valuable metres. Some of it could be that the pressure is on the left-hand side. We heard that pre-start. The initial build would be from the left, and I think there's more left-hand pressure coming, and it'll hit Emirates Team New Zealand first.
Back in that. Yeah. Go a bit further, I think. Yeah. Okay, let's go.
2, 1, 4, down. 3, 2, 1, mate.
Go mine.
Happy to go if they go.
They've gone.
See that darker patch of breeze on the water. Ineos Britannia just getting into that and then tacking, trying to take advantage of that angle, but Emirates Team New Zealand also tacking in that same wind shift as well. So just not letting the British get too far out to one side, so trying to stay in between their opponents and that top gate.
Following him in here, not sure you think your time
If he goes before late, you
Really
can
hard to
keep
say,
going.
yeah. It's okay, it's all right.
He's right here at the moment.
This is the race committee. We are moving the leeward gate, lengthening to 1.6 nautical miles.
Very good sign if they're lengthening the course. The wind is in and stable.
They tacked as well. I made it we can.
Yeah, more pressure coming too. Up beyond the top mark, I'm seeing greener patches on the water, so I think there's more pressure coming down the course. But both boats will be around this top mark gate before that new pressure hits them.
Numbers. Okay. Going button.
So Ineos Britannia sitting in the dirty air of Emirates Team New Zealand, so that wing wash or that sail wash coming out the back.
Button. I've got way too faking coming down. That's right.
That'll slow
What do you think, early job?
British team down.
Just settle.
I think the pressure will be good straight.
Emirates Team New Zealand about to complete the first leg of 6 in race 1, the opening race of the match here in Barcelona. Strong start has given them the advantage at this point.
At the moment for me. Copy.
It's me there, no deeper, Pete.
Ineos Britannia coming through. The one thing we have seen in the whole of this regatta, downwind, Britannia is quick.
Early jibe here. Copy. Pressure in. Right into it. 2, 5, working down. Okay, all the way down, go hard. No, we jibe. Hit it, boys.
Emirates Team New Zealand, look, they've got that lovely patch of wind, that green area we can see on the wind field.
Them on this one hard now.
Yep. Heading higher than Britannia.
Okay, stand by.
I'll call the board, you guys.
The meters are creeping up.
1, port down.
2,
1, made. Turning.
Farewell. 2, 1, down board.
Ben Ainsley handing over to Dylan Fletcher on driving duties aboard Ineos Britannia.
Nice way for you to build on.
And the wing wash off the back again of the Kiwi boat will be working its way down towards the British team.
Nice lifted, nice.
Looks like a pretty good man, top right.
There's lighter conditions, very,
It looks like there's good breeze all the way.
bending the breeze around all those sails, so a lot of dirty air going down there.
I think it's going to hold, right? It's only 20 delay.
Yeah, looks okay, straight.
Anytime.
See the difference in VMG there, Shirley. Only options there for the British team apart from tacking away.
A little high mode in the knot, they've gone.
2, 1, go on board.
On board Ineos, this is Dylan Fletcher, his port helm, gold medalist from Tokyo in the skiff class, his first America's Cup. And we have watched him grow over the last 6 weeks. What a talent he is.
Blank crease here.
This is the race committee. We are moving the leeward gate, lengthening to 1.8 nautical miles.
At my wheel.
It has been a strong leg upwind for Emirates Team New Zealand. They have defended Ineos well at this point. Halfway through race 1 in the match, and it's the defender leading as they head downwind for leg number 4. On board the chase boat for Emirates Team New Zealand, Ray Davies joins us right now. Controlling this opening encounter pretty well, Ray.
Yeah, so far so good. No, for sure the guys are sailing really well. Like for sure there's lots of dots to join out here and they're doing a fantastic job of linking those and therefore a lot more performance. So yeah, tricky conditions, but yeah, really happy with how they're sailing, very composed.
Ray, very, very difficult conditions to pick sails this morning. How was the process there?
Yeah, we pulled ours up and down a couple of times. Yeah, this new breeze was potentially going to come in a little bit stronger, so we're covering the option of going to a smaller sail, and we're happy with the weather call. Roger Batten was just nailing it, and yeah, he was to within half a knot, so fantastic job there by our Cloudsy boy. So good shout out there. But you know, it's tricky out here. There's a lot of cloud around. It's clearing now. It's a lot more stable than what we'd seen earlier. So hopefully we get a couple of good races in today.
Thanks for your time, Ray. Appreciate it. Let's go across to the Ineos Britannia chase boat with Rob Wilson. Rob, quick question. Late into the start, any reason?
There was a few little issues they were having after the battery swap with one of the batteries, which just put us on the back foot very slightly.
Yeah, how pleased are you with how well the boys have recovered from that and sailing well?
Yeah, they're edging back in there. The Kiwis are making it pretty tough though. You know, it's super shifty out there and quite up and down on the pressure, and they've just put their elbows out, and it's hard to get around them, that's for sure.
Thanks for your time, Rob.
Thank you.
Looks like it's on the boundary in front of us.
But right now, on the opening day of the match in race 1, the defender Emirates Team New Zealand has done what it set out to do and put a stake in the ground. Emirates Team New Zealand win race 1 of the match. So the fleet is coming back in off the racecourse. Racing abandoned today on race day 2 with the Defender leading 3-0. It's been a good day out, but let's just go back over it again. Defender up 3-0. More work for Ineos to do, Shirley.
Yeah, they've got a lot to think about tonight. Momentum definitely starting to edge towards the Kiwis. I don't think we've seen the best of that team. They haven't won a start, and really that has to be the priority. From our assessment, the boats look very close in terms of performance, but yeah, starting is the key.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the starts, as we've seen previously, particularly in the lighter, steadier conditions, absolutely critical to get off the start line with an advantage over your opponent.
Yeah, all right. So at that point in the day number 1, it was 1-0 as we moved into race 2 yesterday in the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup match.
Straight out the boat.
Both teams will have a playbook. A few different moves in this scenario.
A potential dial up here coming up. Ineos having to avoid.
All good here.
What up? We'll be taking from get my cant in here.
No, this is a proper match race start here.
Gonna get down one from here. Yep.
1 minute to go to start, so British needing to come back on time on distance.
Not too much.
Kiwis needing to get downwind. Engage with Ineos Britannia.
17, 15.
Thoughts?
Both teams probably wanting to get to protect that right. Kiwis happy to hang back.
Ineos Britannia will be coming in on that luffing ley line, that right-hand end. The British now will be trying to lock Emirates Team New Zealand out. Emirates Team New Zealand will be looking to come in, build speed and come in for a hook below.
TTK is time to kill. Both teams slightly early.
Pressure looks okay for that.
Could play into the Kiwis' hands.
1.5.
Straight up to it.
And we'll see Emirates Team New Zealand immediately tack away.
It's on again. Race 2 of the match in the 37th America's Cup.
Okay, pressure on the bow. 240 is the average.
The Kiwis were the closest to the line, 5 metres back, nothing. Doing 36 knots, rolling into that tack.
Emirates Team New Zealand sailing into that more pressure over that right-hand side, but the British team holding an early advantage. Early gains to the British team off that start line.
Nice breeze. 5, 3, 2, 1.
Steady.
Fun and butter.
Soft through the right now, but it gets better. He's just gone there. If we have an option, what side would you take?
It's a little light up to the boundary right now, but there's another one filling off the shore.
Right now I've got a strong, but he's in a low mode charging.
Yeah, this is a vital cross, first cross coming up. Initial advantage to Ineos, but Emirates Team New Zealand over on that right-hand side. You can see they're taking away valuable metres. The New Zealanders are bow forward. Ineos will not get round their bow. It's decision time for the challenger.
Drop by, stand by, drop stand
Just
by.
on the outside.
Slowly working up.
Too close for the Kiwis to tack to defend that right-hand side.
There's pressure on the right boundary now.
Slightly lifted now.
I'd be keen to get back over there.
A little wide vessel.
Sorry, it's gone left. Right.
Still slight right there.
What do you see up dead upwind of us, Andy? Is that better wind on Port Lake?
I think. No, I don't think so.
The British potentially sailing into that favoured pressure on that right-hand side. So this next intersection, very, very telling. Just Ineos Britannia just sailing through the foil spray there, really, really close intersection. We are going to see
whether we can cross or not.
Another close intersection coming up.
Crossing.
Boat's probably too close to defend.
High speed depth for a right at the top's probably pretty good for the. Just getting back into wind.
This is what we wanted to see, wasn't it? Neck and neck. Just a few metres in it.
pulling bearing at the moment.
There's a bit of breeze across, it definitely want to go past.
Kiwi's got a little bit of a lift, it looks like, on that left-hand side.
Okay, my wheel, Ben.
Potentially just crossing Emirates Team New Zealand, but the British will start winding it up to have a piece of them. Just a little too far away to cause any raise of heart rate for umpire Richard Slater and his team.
Breeze on it. And button.
20 seconds away. Top gate, how's it look? Something coming out the left one, maybe.
It's pretty even.
Final tack for the left turn for the Kiwi team. Ineos Britannia doing one more manoeuvre for a right
5
turn.
seconds on the button. Across when he tacks, but he might have a little piece of the zone, so just got to think of that.
Stand by.
Other options, you can take the right mark, but marks are even.
1, made. I will.
Okay, left mark protection here.
Solid here.
Here.
Heading to the top gate in race 2 for the first time of 8 legs. And once again, minute is the lead by Emirates Team New Zealand. What an upwind leg that was, the first of 8. They get around.
It's a slight left phase.
In comes Ineos Britannia.
Down here, yours. Right, good left seat here.
Yeah, the British team heading into both a shift and more pressure. Have a quick look at the ghost boats.
Definitely more pressure on that left-hand side, looking downwind. Britannia, as we said before the start, that extra knot or two of true wind speed, translating into massive performance gains in these light conditions.
Those peaks are quite high.
Move if he takes out transom here.
I think he's going in front and we drive on lane.
He's coming up now.
A little touchdown there by the British team. Washed off a few metres just across Emirates Team New Zealand. So
3, 2, 1.
Bottom gate. For the first time, bit of a yo-yo of a match going on here. Wait for this moment.
Big pressure on Team New Zealand here to execute this down speed two-board round-up.
Bottoms and watch the gas.
They got it back. I think they're not here, boys. Here we go. That's good. Keep going. All the way. Looking up now. Yeah.
How good is this? How good is this? Race 2 in the match.
They were big manoeuvres in 7-8 knots of wind. So impressive.
The British team with about a 5-knot boat speed advantage, actually rounding the mark and then pulling off a very light attack.
All the way is good.
Like just inside of it where we go out of attack. Nice guys.
Only 10.
Down board.
Ineos have just jibed, and they've jibed in a nice little lane of pressure that's just going down the right-hand side. New Zealand were pretty quiet over on the left, so Ineos are making a move on this second downwind leg.
I think
the pressure's still better straight. But what's going to be hard is if it goes left any further.
Big gains back there to the British. Emirates Team New Zealand now potentially sailing back into that better pressure that the British got the benefit of down that side. So in theory, it should be gains back now again to Emirates Team New Zealand.
Probably. That right turn at the moment's quite biased if it does hang in.
Okay. Well,
but we'd want to take this.
This is a little reload now.
Okay. It's boundary.
This is going to be a very down speed manoeuvre.
Slow tempo,
still for boats coming into this right turn.
Okay.
Round up.
How about that? Right up there, transom, then quickly jibing away. So again, as we complete the halfway mark in this second race, nothing in it.
Emirates Team New Zealand just not being far enough in front to be able to really get the elbows out. British team doing a great job. Having a look at the ghost boat, Shirley.
Yeah, let's have a look at the optimum route. Currently has the Kiwis gaining a little bit on that left-hand side of the track. More breeze on the left. Such a volatile course, isn't it? Every time I look at it, it shows something new.
That zone.
A little bit, Pete.
British sitting in a hole, 5 knots less boat speed. The snakes and ladders.
Or just in here somewhere?
It certainly
I think
is.
somewhere here is good.
Somewhere here's
All
good.
about the pressure in this down range condition. So squared with the thrust of the breeze. Huge gains in performance. Get a little bit more fuel around that aero package.
Start thinking about this top.
Yeah, life seems to be getting easier in this race for Emirates Team New Zealand, but there's still 2 legs to go, and Mother Nature has decided to make it just a little bit tougher. But no hint of a flinch or wobble by Emirates Team New Zealand at the moment.
If they take the right mark.
Ineos Britannia now approaching the bottom gate for the second to last time. The next time they hit this will be at the finish. Now they're trying to work out ways. How can they keep hunting, finding something to run down Emirates Team New Zealand?
It has been outstanding racing from the Kiwis today. Have not put a foot wrong.
What's the line we always use? Minimise mistakes if they're going to happen, and you're going to be in a good position. In a game that has somewhat felt like a chess match, it is checkmate to Emirates Team New Zealand. And they lead the cup now, 2 races to 0.
Oh, nice way to start.
No, turning up.
Barcelona is enjoying the thrill ride of the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup. We had a thrill ride today in race 3 at the start, didn't we?
Yeah, we were quite surprised to see that. Ineos Britannia just not reacting quickly enough, caught off guard in a way. Boats got so close together, and that really defined the race, didn't it? Emirates Team New Zealand did such a good job of defending from there, maintaining that advantage.
Yeah, super difficult to dig your way back into that race after paying that initial penalty off after the start. So Emirates Team New Zealand just, as we've said before, put the elbows out and just make it really difficult for the trailing boat to find an overtaking lane.
One thing we know is that boat right there, the defender of the 37th America's Cup, Emirates Team New Zealand, are in a 3-0 lead going into a single race day tomorrow. So there is going to be a lot of talk in both camps about A, how do we get into this, and B, how do we capitalise on the advantage. So that is race day 2, should I say, because tomorrow is race day 3, as Emirates Team New Zealand to confirm that 3-0 lead on the single race day we had today. And this is what it's all about, this magnificent piece of silver, the America's Cup. Who will have their name etched in it by the end of the regatta, the 1st to 7th? Well, you just stay right where you are every day at 2 o'clock local time here in Barcelona and be a part of the regatta. Confirmation of the standings and where it all sits. Emirates Team New Zealand, the defender, are 3-0 up against the official challenger of record, Ineos Britannia. So much to go, so much to do, like one race tomorrow on a Monday. That's right, we're going to get race 4 underway. We'll be on air here in Barcelona from 2 p.m. local time, wherever you are around the world. We would love you to join us and once again enjoy the thrill of being in this Spanish city, and it's people who have welcomed the America's Cup with open arms, and we have been thrilled with so much in this regatta, but now the focus is truly on the match, and that's what matters the most. Can Emirates Team New Zealand do 3 cup win regattas in a row? That will be the talking point, and the other part of the equation is can Ineos Britannia, with the backing of that man right there, get back into the match? There is no denying they have a fight, and they will fight till the bitter end. There's no denying that the fans of Team New Zealand are smiling all the way, but it's the cup, and Whether you're aggressive or not, you've simply got to have the fastest boat because there is no second. Join us tomorrow, 2 p.m. local, for more from the America's Cup Live.